try to do a touch up on this Sweden Butcher Rattler grind, I think it's called. Had some really heavy rust damage on this thing. You can see all the spots, but the edge is fairly good. The metal's still good. It's just a shade with it. It just wasn't sharp enough, not crisp enough. So here I got a Coticule, which honestly I don't know what it is. It's all one piece. The texture is fairly smooth, but has a little bit of grain to it. Kind of sharp cutting feel, not smooth. This one, I'm guessing it's a Legris. It's got like the purplish color, which they call blue, I guess. But this is like a softer feeling stone. I think it's finer than this one, but I think I get sharper edges off of this. But this feels like you're cutting when you scrape or cut horn. It's got that texture to it, and when you braid the texture or braid the surface or whatever, it has like an organic smell to it. It's like almost like a not quite siltstone, but it's got a organic smell, so which is interesting with this one. This one's like a lower, like larger grit. It's like the lower part of the honing process. This is real fast. Takes off a lot of material. I tried doing it one hone stone on this one, and it just does not do good enough. I couldn't get it, no matter what polishing I did with it, with the soap and the oil and stuff, it just wouldn't work. This one is kind of like the texture of the Legris, but it's harder on this part right here, and then over here it's like super smooth. But this one's like, it polishes really well, but it's difficult to get a nice edge with this one. I've still got to practice with this, but this one is quite interesting. I'm not sure which one this would be. It's kind of got a greenish tint to it here, but I don't know that it's a verte green one or whatever. I'm not sure, but it's fairly hard. This one so far, this is my first Coticule, and I've really used this one a lot, but I get close but not close enough, and so learning the feeling of it has been a lot different than what I get with either slates or the Zulu Gray or any of those that has a grab to it when you're getting to the right spot. With this, it's it's not so prominent to what I've come to get used to. This, like I said, it was shaving. You can hear it goes in there fairly quietly, but it just wasn't good enough. This is my slurry stone, but the greater than this is closer to this right here, so it's a lot harder on it. So I'm using the slurry stone from that came with my Zulu Gray. So I'm just mixing up just real light pressure, just getting a little bit of slurry to stir up some of those. And then what's funny with this one, you'll see more slurry coming up from this stone with this. But what's interesting, this one and the other one, all you see is this slurry. So you still get a little bit of that gray in there, but as you notice, you got quite a bit of the light color from the base stone. What I'm trying to do is just bring the edge up just a little bit more. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit more grab. And this heel takes a little bit more work. I might have to adjust the shoulder a little bit. Which is nice with these is you're not bumping into the guard like so you'd have some. Well, this one's not that way, but I don't think I have one up here that has it. I just restored this. Yeah, see, this guard's out of the way, but I have other ones. Yeah, that one's out of the way. So, but you have a clear shot with this, and it's not interfering, which I really like that part of it. And this has got a nice smile, but more smile to the toe. And I like those sharp smiles because they just fit my face better. So I was reading that article and it was talking about using the slurry to do the cutting. And that seems to help to a certain extent, but learning the stone is important because then you know when you get to that point before it starts knocking off your edge. And I'm seeing particles in the swarf already from probably the previous edge coming off of it. And having a really light pressure, I found is key. Let's get that toe in there. But yeah, you don't get that suction. You get a little bit of grab, but you don't get that feeling of suction. And also, I don't do water because I'm sure other people have run into the same thing like everybody else did with running water. Is it just sets your edge back. They say, so on some of the videos you go until it starts grabbing the stone. Well, when I look under the glass, it's not an even bevel scratch pattern. You have scratch pattern here and then it goes like that. So I found that doesn't work for me. I'm sure your stones, if you're doing that, it might work for you, but with these stones it just tears that fine edge off of there, and that sets me back and I can't do it. And that's with going no pressure. So I stopped messing with the running water after I kept getting the same results doing it, and switched over to using soapy water to get that extra little glide, less resistance. And I just can't tell you how key it is you just can't put pressure into it. It'll just break that edge off. It's like an arc, how it can be brutal to that edge if you're not careful with it, and pushing too hard on it at a certain stage can just completely ruin your day. Because you're just basically having to start all over. And what I do too is I work in sections of the blade as I go, because I want to feel the same consistent sensation from heel to toe. And if I'm getting a little scratchiness here or there, I'll sit there and I'll work that specific spot until it feels the same as the rest of that side of the blade. And of course I'm going to mirror the same kind of thing on the other side, so I keep my hone wear even on that apex, so I'm not getting one side lower than the other, or less worn than the other side. And then after it feels the same, then I do the long rolling strokes using only basically a small section of the stone, changing the direction of your scratch pattern, like I mentioned before. And another one helps also with taking a little bit of material off and evening out those scratch patterns at that apex, getting rid of any kind of deep striations. So there's no real strong feedback with that. So I didn't set it back. That sounds a little bit more noisy than I want to hear. And I think it was a toe on this anyways, it was a little lacking. And I haven't re-slurried because I'm kind of where I don't want that. I'm going to slow down on my cut. I only want to remove a teeny tiny bit of material right now because I'm working my way up to that fine part of the apex, so that you don't have a section that looks like when you look in the mirror you want it like a flat reflection. You don't want something that looks like it's rolling over, and then when they meet, and you don't want any glint on the top because that could mean a foil or you haven't fully reached that apex. You can see quite a bit of this swarf on the stone too. So it's still cutting. And I'm not pushing in that hard, I'm just letting it just encourage a little bit so I know it's the edge going in effortlessly. Right now I'm just working that toe a little bit more, blending the striations in together. And I find that if you feel that grabbing sensation, then you went too far on that particular spot, or you put too much pressure on and you just blew out that apex. So these definitely, what I've, in my experience so far, I've been working a couple months now trying to get this figured out, just exclusively using these coticles just to see what I can do with them and what. See, I noticed that sensation change there. Exclusively trying to get it figured out and what works for me and what my body can perceive from the stone and stuff. But yeah, there's a little bit of resistance, but it's very subtle, and I'm just dangling the razor in my hand, just guiding it with the rolling strokes.